Hello, hello. We're just making sure that we are live on YouTube for our weekly Freedom Friday. And as soon as it is confirmed, we will kick it off. It looks like we are good to go. Hey, my name is Aaron Jennings with Scalability. Welcome to Freedom Fridays. If you are a Scalability subscriber, you can join these calls every Friday, 11:30 CST, live on Zoom, to where you can ask questions about systems, strategy, customer journey, things like that. We believe that God created for 6 days and then he set everything on autopilot so he could spend the rest of eternity having a relationship with us. And so I like to look at automation and systems and things like that and say, how do we use that stuff in our businesses in 2025 where we can create that kind of freedom from work and busy work to be able to be in relationship with people? And so every Friday, I go live and do systems and strategy and customer journey and how do we use this software and technology to actually create that for ourselves so that you guys don't just get stuck in the tech side of things, right? You get software, it's pretty easy to just get roaming around in circles, learning and trying to figure it out, but never actually figuring out how to use the software to your benefit. You end up taking away from doing money-making tasks so that you can learn how to run the software. Our goal for Freedom Fridays is to help you get past that. So what are you trying to build? Helping you create a system that you can duplicate and then showing you exactly what to leverage inside of Scalability to get you to that result as quick as possible. Today, I want to show you some cool AI stuff that we have built in with AI agents and chatbots, and then how I would suggest using them in your business and on your websites and everything. But as always, we have people waiting in the waiting room. Couldn't think of the word. We have people waiting in the waiting room, so we're going to go ahead and let people in, and we're going to jump into Q&A first, and then we will jump over to that as soon as we get everybody taken care of. How's it going, everybody? We are live on YouTube, and you know me, I like to get right to just asking questions. Catch me up. Hey,
How,
Larry.
how in the world does scalability work?
I have no idea. I just work here. I don't know.
I'm just giving you a bad time.
There's a tech team. Chat with them. I don't really know what I'm doing. How's your week been, Larry?
Cold,
Cold.
very
Sounds good.
cold.
Understood. Is there anything I can help you with this week? I saw you got your A2P started. That's good. Make sure we
Who?
schedule a call to like wrap things up. The A2P is the phone number. That
Um,
deal, that registration thing that you started with the phone number.
yeah, does if that's not set up, then I can't text.
Right. Exactly. That's what it is. And I'll
Okay.
finish monitoring it and make sure it all gets done. We just needed you to do that part. Looks like you got it.
Yeah, I tried texting this morning. It's still not going through yet. So
Nope. We got to wait for that to get approved, but
yeah,
anything, and then make sure you schedule with me so that we can get it
yeah.
all wrapped up and show you how to do it too. I'll
I'm
probably
trying
send you
to
another link today.
I'm trying to learn a few things before so I can understand what in your world you're talking about.
Fair enough.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, fair enough.
I
No
do have
worries.
a question, but
Go ahead.
the others were they're ahead of me.
That's all right. We'll knock out everybody's. Go ahead.
Explain at a higher level, not get into the weeds so much about the calendar. I'm having problems wrapping my mind around the calendar or calendars. Is there
Okay.
one? I mean, you set up something for my cash flow audit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, how do I incorporate other things that I'm doing such that the when somebody sees my calendar or tries to set up an appointment, those other times are blocked out?
Um,
Do I
so
set up
on
other
our
calendars?
Yeah, so on our final call, right, when we wrap things up, we'll make sure your personal calendar is integrated with scalability. That way, your scalability calendar will check your personal one to make sure it's not overlapping. So then it'll always kind of check that one and it'll put them on that one. So if somebody books, say, the cash flow audit, it'll put it on your personal calendar after it checks to make sure you have available time, right? And then if you created 15 other calendars and you make them all check your personal calendar, right? They're all going to be booking to that personal calendar. So it'll always be checking and none of them will overlap each other.
Okay.
So it's
Sounds
pretty
good.
much creating the calendar. And if you wanted multiple calendars, you could just duplicate the one that's there and then go into the settings and make changes. Because that way you can see exactly everything that's set up.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. And then anytime you guys set up a calendar, you always want an automation. And so most of you probably have a calendar and an automation already set up. So Larry, yours, for example, you already have the free cash flow audit. And when somebody books on that calendar, that triggers the reminders to go out.
Yeah.
Right. So all of you, I think at some point or other have booked or scheduled an automation audit with me. I offer a free automation audit for like people checking things out or have questions about the software or whatever. Or when you first sign up, I do everything one-on-one with everybody. So Larry, you kind of want to make that free cash flow audit the thing you talk about all the time.
Yeah.
So if you're just talking with somebody, even face to face or anything, tell them, say, hey, go to simplifo.biz and just schedule a free cash flow audit with me. That blocks 30 minutes on my calendar.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, hey, let's jump on Zoom this week for 30 minutes and talk about what we were just talking about. You can book it straight to my calendar on this link. And you can send them a link directly to the cash flow audit.
Yeah.
But that way you're telling everybody, schedule a free cash flow audit. Or hey, let's connect. I have a 30-minute cash flow audit. We can just schedule one of those. That gives us 30 minutes to talk.
That's good. Good
That way
point.
you're saying it over and over, and it's always the same calendar and the same automation and everything.
Well, that's and feeding people into that site
Exactly.
is so eloquently put together.
Well, and two, once people start to see it and they hear the words cash flow audit over and over and over,
Yeah.
and they go through it, they might
Yeah.
share that with somebody else easier too.
Yeah. Good point.
Whereas if you send them a link directly to your calendar, they kind of skip the website. They don't hear cash flow audit. They just book a discovery call that's pretty generic. You want them to know you offer this free cash flow audit. The same words over and over and over and over that point people to the same thing. So
Yeah.
it's like, what does Larry do? Well, he does a free cash flow audit. He'll tell you exactly where it's leaking and then he'll show you how to fix it.
Yeah.
Like they'll start talking about that and sharing that around.
Okay.
Make
Good.
sense?
Oh, you always make sense.
But does it make sense to you? Do you
Yeah,
understand?
right now it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good,
Good.
good. We'll play with that a little bit more too.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I see your message there, Jill. It's good to see you again. Apparently, just for those of you who know, for last week, they were missing the replay from Freedom Friday last week. It got removed from YouTube because of violation of harassment guidelines. I think I went and looked at it and it says it was like 156 in. Apparently it was when people were jumping in that hadn't been around for a while and I was giving them a hard time about not showing up. And YouTube flagged me and removed it. So we'll try to be a little gentler this week on everybody.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty tough.
It's kind of funny, but it is what it is. Kelly, how can I help you? I haven't seen you in a while. Catch me up.
Yeah, it has been a minute, but I have been busy. It's not for a lack of just not doing anything.
I've seen a few of your posts pop up. I know you're
Yeah,
working.
yeah, I am. So my question was, when I came in, you set up everything for me. So lovely. And so now I've gotten to the point to where I've gotten, several clients and I've had to move my, the day that I do my coaching calls from Thursday to Monday.
Okay.
And so I went into the flow, the workflow, and changed those dates. I found a video or something on how to do that. So,
Okay.
so I did that, but now I think you set up the notification in my Facebook group as well. And I can't seem to figure out how to change that from Thursday to Monday.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me show you. It's funny. I literally just did this for somebody yesterday as well. So it's called Admin Assist. And what was the name of your Facebook group again?
Uniquely You Life.
See if I can find it real quick.
Okay.
Well, I'm finding posts of you, but I'm not finding the group. Why not? I was going to screen share and just show you real quick. Oh, there we go. It's good. Okay, it's because I'm not in the group anymore. Gotcha. Okay, so when you go into your group, I can't go into your group anymore, so you'll have to do it.
Right.
Go into your group, and then on the left side, because you're the manager or the owner, on the
Right.
left side, start to scroll down. You'll see Admin Assist.
Yes.
When you click on Admin Assist, there'll be a spot to create a welcome post and to create a weekly post.
Yes.
There should be a weekly post there that says weekly coaching calls. That one you can click the little pencil or the edit button and just delete it, or edit it and change it to the new date and when you want it scheduled.
Okay. So I'm in there right now. It's got weekly coaching every Thursday. So when I click edit and I go to edit, it's got once a week. But it won't let me like click anything in there.
Just delete it and create a new one. Because
But
like
it's so pretty, it's so pretty.
was there a is there a photo on it? We
There
created
is.
a photo, right? Does the
Yeah.
photo say the day and time?
No, it just says our weekly call is today.
Okay. So just go into the group and save the photo somewhere.
Okay.
Then you can delete it and then create a new post and just put the same picture back on it. But then you'll be able to set it, because it's probably not letting you because we created it for you. So it's saying we're the ones that created it and you can't fix it,
I gotcha.
which is odd because it's your group, but that might be it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just save the picture, because if it's been posting every week in the group for a while, which it has,
Yes.
you can just go into the media in the group and just download the photo
Okay.
and then delete that post, create a new one, you'll be good to go.
Okay, good. All right. Well, that was really all I had.
Cool.
So yeah,
Well,
doing
glad
good.
to hear it was quick and easy. I
Yeah.
got some AI stuff we're going to talk about if you want to hang around, or I'll actually have a replay today, as long as I don't get in trouble again.
Well, behave yourself.
Yeah, I'll try.
Thanks,
I'll
Aaron.
try. Hey, Ann, how's it going? You got any questions or anything? You're just hanging out with us.
Remember, I think I asked you the other day about AI and how to have it interact with when someone comes into your flow. You'd rather have them interacting with the AI to, because I do real estate, so I would want to. Oh my gosh, the word's escaping me, but I'm trying to think of the word to qualify them. Sorry, as
Yeah.
a lead to put into my calendar because of time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep. So I was going to actually show, right before I let everybody in, I said, I'm going to show you guys how the new AI agents work and the AI chatbots work, and how you can kind of leverage those two things in your business and where to find them. Naturally, it's all about prompting on what you want the bots to do, but I'll show you guys how to find that stuff. So if you didn't have any other questions or anything on that, we'll just jump in and start playing with AI a little bit, and I'll show you guys where to find all that stuff and how to use it. Does that sound good? Unless anybody else has any other questions. Jill, I saw your message in the
Can I ask a quick
chat.
question then? Can I ask a quick question, Aaron?
Yeah, what's up?
On my uh, giveaway, that book,
Yeah.
when, because I've done this several times and I got Kelly to do it too, set up a time and an audit. When does the book go out? Or
It should go out right away. Is it not going out?
no?
Okay. So we just need to check the automation then to make sure it's triggering or why it's not
Okay.
triggering.
All right, that's right.
Are you getting an email or anything when you do it?
Yeah, but a confirmation email the day before, and then 2 hours before, and then an hour before.
Okay, so you're getting the reminders for the calendar, but you're not getting the actual book. It may be
Oh.
turned off since we haven't had the final call to just run you through everything.
Okay, that's okay.
Because I know on our final call, we make sure everything's on and you're using it and everything else, because a lot of times we will leave stuff in draft mode because when we tell you, hey, we're done, let's schedule our final call, a lot of people like to jump in, start playing with things,
Yeah.
and they'll start moving things around and they trigger a bunch of automations because they're just checking things out.
Yeah.
And so we'll usually, a lot of times we'll leave things in draft mode until we walk you through it. And then we'll be like, okay, now it's live. If you touch it, it's going to do these things.
Okay.
So it may just be in draft mode, but I'll be looking at this afternoon and I'll make sure.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I was just reading up on Jill's deal. Sounds fun. Things are growing, moving into new categories. All right, let's jump in here because I want to show you guys real quick. We won't spend a ton of time on it because I know it'll just trigger more and more things for everybody to play with. But when you guys log into your scalability accounts, there's two cool new things. AI agents, which I think are super, super cool. And this is where AI actually answers the phone. So an AI voice, you can choose the voice and everything. It'll answer the phone, have conversations with people and everything else. And then it can trigger automations and things after the call. So you could build an automation to follow up with somebody after a call or send a link to your calendar where they can schedule and things like that. And then this AI agent can answer the calls and have a conversation, kind of pre-screen them like Ann was saying, answer any questions they have, and then book them to a calendar. And there's different parameters, right? There's a little bit more depth you can go into, but in Ann's case, where she mentioned real estate, somebody might be calling saying, hey, I'm a buyer, I'm looking to buy properties. And somebody might be a homeowner looking to sell their property. So the AI agent could have a conversation with them and then determine whether there's somebody that wants to sell their house or somebody looking to buy a house. And then once it determines one or the other, it could trigger this workflow or this workflow to send texts or emails or follow-ups or trigger tasks and things like that after the call based on whatever it found. So that naturally is going to be a prompting the AI and training it on your website, Q&A and stuff like that. So what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to show you that AI agent and how you can access it in scalability and how you can turn it on and start playing with it if you want. And then in cooperation with that, we're also looking at conversation AI, which is a chatbot widget, an AI widget you put on your website to where people can click on if they have a question and it will grab name, phone number, and they start the chat and then it moves it to a text communication and the AI actually jumps in and starts texting back and forth with them. It'll answer their questions in chat, or I'm sorry, in text messages and everything else. And so there's settings for these that'll allow you to, when it's over, they can trigger workflows. They can send you a transcription of the entire conversation to your email, which is really cool. And you can make it to where it forwards. So here's, let me stop right there and say, this is the way that I would leverage them. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how to use them, but I want to give you the process first, and then we'll show you the pieces and I'll give you the process again. If you have a website that's in place already and people are coming to your website, right? You take and get a scalability phone number, put it on the website. Okay. So we grab it, let's just call it an 800 number. We put it on the website. When somebody goes to your website and they call that number, you make the settings inside of scalability forward that call to your cell phone if you want to answer the calls. So then you can directly answer whatever you can answer, right? If you're not doing anything, you're in between meetings, you can take the call, then you take the call. If you don't take the call, the AI agent steps in and answers the phone and handles the conversation. So it's kind of like having a backup. If you're somebody who likes to answer the phone and you like to deal and interact with people when you can, but you get busy and you miss things, this is perfect. Forward it to your cell phone, and then if you don't get it, the AI agent will jump in and get it. And if they don't want to call, they just click the chat and they start a text with the same AI agent, right? That answers the questions, and both of them can trigger workflows afterwards. So that's the idea or the concept. Now, when you come into your scalability account, if we click on settings in the bottom left corner, over here in this side menu, you'll see conversation, and AI agents. Both of them look like the little robots over here on the left. If I click on this conversation AI bot here, you'll probably have no bots and whatnot. So we'll come up here in the top right, click create a bot. Now here you can do appointment booking from scratch, general Q&A. It kind of gives you, just like everything else in scalability, there's some templates laid out already, right? Or it's starting from scratch. So let's just say we want it to answer questions on the website. I can just do this and click continue. It's going to immediately bring us in here and you'll see create bot, bot settings, bot training, bot goals. Here we can give it a name. So like mine's named, I named mine Katie. So we'll just say, we'll just call her Jennifer for this one. And then right underneath it, you can choose the status if you want her off or if you want it to come on and suggest things to you. So when you're chatting with somebody, it'll just pop up these little bubbles at the bottom of what it would suggest you say. So if you struggle with what to say to people, this can still be trained on your website and your company, and then it can actually help you talk to people. Or we can go into autopilot where it just fully takes the conversation and runs with it. So I'm going to talk about autopilot right now, okay, where we're putting this bot on the website and it's going to take people to text message and it's just going to have conversations with them and just handle it. That's what I want done with this, okay? So then right underneath that, you can choose what channels you want this bot to operate on. So let's say I want Jennifer to run autopilot mode, but I want her to do text and Instagram, Facebook, live chat, and chat widget SMS. If I'm going to my website, I'm just going to put chat widget SMS and I'll delete these others. But you could put all of them on here if you want, like this. And now she will handle anything to where if any text comes into your scalability account at all, she would jump in and handle it. So if you're manually texting people, you don't really want that, right? Because you want to kind of jump in and be able to text people. As soon as you text somebody and they respond, she would jump in and take over again, right? So I don't want it on that. I'm not going to mess with Facebook because that's just your business page and Instagram live chat. We're just going to talk about the chat widget SMS chat right now, okay? So if we set this up to where right now, all we've said is we want to call her Jennifer. We want it to answer the chat widget on the website. And then we want it to be autopilot where she just takes care of these conversations, okay? Underneath that, you can actually give, you can start fine tuning the bot's behavior of what you want it to do. So business name, now she knows our name and how to interact. And then here you can say wait time before responding. This is naturally the amount of time they're going to wait before responding back and forth to people. I just like to make it a minute, keep it to where it doesn't seem like it's quite immediate, you know, like there is a little bit of a lag. And then the maximum messages, some people, when they have a chat bot, they like to drag things out and just run in circles around the chat, around the AI until they break it. Because remember, AI is supposed to be an addition to you running your business. It's supposed to assist you in having good customer service, not do everything for you. And no matter what anybody says, as much as it can do, it cannot and should not run 100% of your business all the time because it will end up breaking at some point, right? Like if an AI, you go in circles and you ask questions and questions and questions, you keep coming around the same stuff. A lot of them in the past, they are getting better and better and better. We're having this problem less and less, but they used to run in circles and eventually it would break down and it would start saying things that didn't make sense. So your maximum messages a bot can send is basically saying it's going to kind of get to the point. It's going to answer questions and it's going to get to the result and then it's going to stop responding to them. So I like 10 to 15. We'll just call it 15 right now. And then right here, underneath that, you can say if you want, send the bot to sleep when I send a message manually or through a workflow. So let's say somebody comes to the website, they start a conversation with the chatbot, with the AI, then it comes to SMS inside of Scalability, and you see the notification come through on the Lead Connector app on your phone. And you see that somebody sent a message to the bot responded and is talking to him, texting back and forth. And then I want to jump in and start texting, and I start texting. Now I don't want to compete with my own bot, right? Where I'm responding and it's responding. So if you toggle this on, when you jump in and start taking over, it's going to basically quiet itself and just let you take it. And here you can choose for how long. So you can say silence it for hours, minutes, seconds, whatever. So basically you're saying, I'm going to jump in, take over manually, and just silence it for 4 hours. And then if the conversation goes cold, it can jump back in. Okay. So this is like basic settings for the bot. Now this next one's cool. Bot training right here. Once we have this set, let's save those settings. It's going to create that. Now we want to go to bot training. And this is where it gets cool. Right here, web crawler, which is super cool. This is how we train the bot. So here we say exact URL, and I could go and put in, let's say I open a new window up top and just do fast scalability /AI, hit enter. Now I can grab this entire link up here and go back, and I can paste that link right there. And when I hit get data, it's going to do just this, web crawl website. Right now, the bot is reading every single line of text on this entire page, and it's getting to know what this thing is selling. And then it's going to populate that information down here and say, the bot's been trained. And that's it. It's going to be trained, and it's going to know everything about your company because it just spidered your website. If you got FAQs on your website, it now knows frequently asked questions and the way that you respond because you have them on your website. So it will interact, and AI will do what it does. It will help fill in the blanks, and it does really good at it, but it will fill in the blanks and it will have conversations. So while that's training itself right now, down here, you'll see this customized bot responses for add Q&A. You can also come in here and add what you know to be frequently asked questions. So like this page right here doesn't have an FAQ section on it, right? So I could come in here and I could say, it's getting to know this website, but there's no FAQs. So here I can come in and type, does this work for all businesses? Yes. And I could expand on this as much as I want. Like I can put a whole paragraph in here. And now the bot's going to spider the website, and then it's going to come here and it's going to see all the Q&A as well. And then it's going to know this is how I respond to these questions. And it's preparing itself to interact with your people. So you see right here, it says uploaded links 1. If I click that drop down, it now shows the website that I just gave it, and it says trained. So the bot now has spidered that website and knows everything there is to know about it. So now you could come right over here on the right and test your bot with a live conversation. So here, this would be the bot's on the website, and I come in to send it a message. I say, tell me, well, let me show you guys first. This website here is talking about AI assistants, AI agents, and how they can benefit you. Okay. And so this is to tell people about the benefits of exactly what I'm teaching you guys right now. AI assistants, AI agents, and why they're good. Okay. So that's what it just learned about right now is this website. I come in here and I can just say, I'm somebody that came to that website. Tell me about AI assistants. And it's going to take what it just learned and answer. So here I said, tell me about AI assistants. It said, hey, AI assistants can handle calls, texts, and bookings, letting you focus on your work. They've been a game changer for many automating tasks and saving times. Right underneath this, you can give it a thumbs up or thumbs down to let it know if this was a good response or a bad response. And every time you give it thumbs up, thumbs down, you're training it. So you're further dialing in the way that it's going to interact with your people. So if I give it a thumbs up, it now knows that that was a good response, right? If I click these stars, it'll actually pull up the settings off to the right, and I could give it even more information. I could come in here and I could prompt it for how I want it to interact and everything else, right? I can edit the way that it responds. And you see here, it's all sorts of all sorts of information. I'm not going to read through all that right now, but you guys can check that out. Okay. But how cool is that? I can keep having a conversation here. You can just keep going with it and train it. The more interaction you give it right here, the more it's going to be trained. So if I was just a person, I'm like, well, that sounds cool, but how can it work for my construction business? Now I want to get more specific, right? It's going to dig in. An AI assistant can answer calls, this and this, letting you focus on your site work, ultimately automate tasks, and help run construction business smoothly. See, I'm like, it's okay. I don't really like that response as well. So I could click these stars, come in here, and here I can actually help write a better one, right? I can just come in here and I can write what I would rather have it say. And then it's going to learn from that. I could come down here below, right in here, and this is giving it a personality and everything else, right? So you can really start fine tuning this. I'm not going to go into how to fine tune a bot. I just want to show you guys the stuff that's here so that you can start playing with it and the strategy behind how you could use it. Because this, you can spend some time here, and you should. This is what makes your AI bots even better, is the amount of time that you take to talk to them and train them. And this is the importance too of, if you guys talk to one person, you deal with one business over and over and over, you're going to have a lot more directed conversations here, right? If this is, how does an AI assistant work for every business known to man, it's going to take some time to really dig in and figure out how to get her trained to where she answers everything right, right? And of course, the more information you have on your website, the more training this bot will have automatically. So that's how you can go in and set up your chatbot. Okay. Super cool. Everything else. We click on bot goals here at the top. It's kind of the next step, if you will. Here, this allows you to get into the prompts. And as you can see, there's a lot of prompt already built in here, right? You're a bot for AI business name. Task is to talk to customers. Primary goal is to build trust, help them customers by referencing our wiki. Obviously, I don't have a wiki. You may not have a wiki. So you can tell them by referencing X or by doing this, right? This is where you tell the bot how you want it to interact and what you want it to do. Underneath here, your intent, you can set the intent. Your goal is to assist the customers with their inquiries, or you can say your goal is to book an appointment on this calendar, and you can put a link directly to the calendar. And then down here, additional information. This is just further prompting, right? And as you can see, it already has examples laid out where you can read this and get an idea for the way the prompting is, and then dial it in to where it speaks directly to your person, your ideal client. So there's all of this is laid out for you in all of them. So when you guys come in here and you set up your AI bot, it's going to automatically have all of this in there. And then you can just go in, read it, and learn by reading it, and then prompt it by dialing it in. Down here at the bottom, these are things that can happen right after the call or right after the conversation, right? So here it says appointment booking, trigger workflow, or add contact information. Remember I said the idea is, how do we get it to answer people's questions and then trigger an automation to follow up with them afterwards? So if we say trigger a workflow, here we can actually choose the workflow. So naturally, you need to go build a workflow first to where it says, whenever somebody talks to my chatbot Jennifer on the website and she answers questions, her goal, her purpose is to book people on my calendar for a, Larry, free cash flow audit, right? So you can create an automation that starts off with a text message from her or an email from her. It says, hey, this is Jennifer. Enjoyed talking to you today. Here's a link to schedule your free cash flow audit. This blocks out 30 minutes on Larry's calendar. So just go ahead and pick a time and date that works for you. And then you can make it wait 3 days and send the same thing again if you want. You can make it wait 3 days and send the same thing. Wait 7 days, send an email. Wait 2 days, send a text. You build this workflow and then you make it trigger after your bot has an interaction with the person. And so that's how you can kind of leverage this conversation AI to be a live chat bot on, the little bottom window. And I'll show you if I go to fastscalability.com. In Scalability, it shows up like this here. See this little chat bubble in the bottom right corner? This is conversation AI. You click on that. It has a picture. What can I do for you? Name, phone number, message, send, converts it to a text message. And then the conversation AI bot that I just showed you guys jumps in and starts having these conversations with you. It's a pretty cool deal. And so inside your Scalability account, you can just plug that directly in. Now I'll show you guys, once you kind of have her trained, it's like, how do we get that on your website? Over here on the left, when you click on sites, at the top, towards the right side, you'll see chat widget. We click on chat widget right here. You can click new and create your first chat widget. Now this is SMS email chat, like we just showed you. It's going to convert it to a text message, live chat in real time. This one is going to be basically, it's going to keep them on your website. Now, the two benefits of this, or drawbacks, whichever way you look at it, is if it's a live chat, somebody has to stay on your website to get their answer, right? If I'm on Fast Scalability and this is a live chat right here, I have to keep this open on my phone or on my computer and message right in here, right? So if it's a live chat, they have to stay on your website and keep the chat window open, right, to actually have this conversation. If it's a SMS or email chat, then it looks like this, where they put in name, phone, message, send. Now it converts it to a text message. They can close this and leave. And the AI bot will actually text them while they're driving down the road or walking around or doing whatever they're doing. Basically, they don't have to stay on your website and you don't lose them outside of the chat, right? So that's why we have ours go to a text message. It captures their name and phone number, and then it starts a text conversation so they can close the window and move on. So that's kind of the benefits there. So if I select this one, I'll show you what this looks like. Now, this is where it's going to let you customize it, right? So chat widget one, as always, you can change the name up top. Can't type today. Change the name. And then over here on the left is the styles. See here is different colors for the way that it pops up. This icon right here will let you choose the way that it looks in the bottom right corner. See right here, it's got the bubbles. If I do this, it's going to change that. Okay, right here, that welcome message. Hey there, have a question, text us here. That's this right here. What can I do for you? Right there. Okay. And so here, widget customization, it's going to let you kind of dial in where you want it. This is the placement, right? We have ours in the bottom right corner, so it shows up like this. You can have it in the top left corner, bottom left, wherever you want. So this is going to allow you to really customize your chat widget, right? To where when they click on it, it'll pop up. If I want to change the colors here, you can see what the colors are going to look like. Purple, you can get the color palette, brand it for your own. You can get really granular on making this thing look the way you want it to look, okay? Once you have this done, if you guys have a WordPress website, you can get it for WordPress right here, and it'll give you a code that you just take to WordPress and plug it in your website. And so you can just, if you have a website, even outside of Scalability, you can plug this in. Once you get that chatbot the way you want it, like I said, I'm not going to go through every granular permission, but let's go back to funnels, and I'll just use one of these as an example, scalable subscriptions. Naturally, this is a demo account we're playing in, so not everything's set up. But when I go into my funnel and I click on settings here, right there, it gives you a place where you can choose the chat widget. So if I say right there, Jennifer, now Jennifer, that chat widget that I just created and the conversation AI bot that I just made to interact with the chat widget, this is all you have to do. You choose that one, come down, click save, and now Jennifer, that chat widget with the conversation AI is automatically put on this funnel, and it's going to interact with people. All right, it's obviously a demo account, so stuff isn't working quite right. But when you preview this and you see it live, it will have that chat bubble in the bottom right corner, and then AI is going to take over. Is that cool? Everybody getting it? questions.
When I click on conversations, I don't get the same drop downs as you have.
When you click on conversations over here on the left,
Yeah.
go to settings in the bottom left corner, then conversations on the left.
Oh, okay.
There you go. That'll be the bot. Yeah, for all, when you log into Scalability, you're going to be on your dashboard here, and this main menu says conversations on the left.
Yeah.
These conversations are just people that are texting, calling, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is more interacting with the people.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
It's there. Thank you.
You're welcome. So reminders, settings, and then here on the left is conversation right there. Right below it is the AI agents.
Yeah.
So now let's talk AI agents because it's kind of cool. This is pretty cool. First, we want to make sure we have a phone number. So on this left side menu again, when you log into Scalability, you'll be on your dashboard. Click on settings in the bottom left. And then over here on this left side menu is phone numbers. When you come in here, if you guys have already been using Scalability, you probably already have a phone number. This one has a phone number, but it doesn't have the A2P so that it can't send text messages, but it can still call. So I could take this phone number and I could put it on my website. Like, give us a call today if you have any questions, right? Or like this right here, this website, I've got the phone number listed right here. And you can click to call right there and it brings up and automatically calls. So right here, I've got a phone number, 877-414 on the website where you can call it and test the AI bot for yourself. So instead of me telling you it's awesome, just call her and interact with her. And this one will actually ask questions about your business and then switch over and role play like she's your AI assistant answering questions and you're the customer calling your business. So this one shows you what it might be like to have an AI assistant. In your websites, you would create a phone number and put it on the website just like this. Call us if you have any questions, right? And then once you have your phone number here, we're going to go back to this side menu here and click on AI agents and create an agent. So now we're going to play with the one that answers the phone. Okay, so this is the one that actually answers the calls. So here, first thing, it's always going to let you kind of set up naming it, the basics. So we'll call this one Jennifer so that she matches the conversation AI. And then right underneath or right over here, business name. I don't want demo account. So you can just type in your business name. You can pick your time zone. And then right here is a whole list of voices and accents. These are all different. So if we click on, say, Adam, calm and smart American, and then play.
It's not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well.
It's going to demo what this person would sound like. Let's say Anna, smart and friendly.
The eye sees only what the mind is prepared to comprehend.
They grab somebody else. Let's see. Let's say Chris, British.
Love doesn't make the world go round. Love is what makes the ride worthwhile.
So you can pick whatever voice you want your AI assistant to have, okay? And you can just listen through them and you find one that you think works and everything else. If you're inside the United States, people like English, like American English accent or British. We seem to like those two better than others. Right here, we've got inbound, and within a few months, we should have actual outbound. So you'll be able to upload a list of people and then tell your AI agent to start calling people. And it'll start calling people. So Anne's eyes are going because this is a good cold calling for real estate investors. Upload a bunch of homeowners and trigger AI to give them all calls, and she can call and see if they're interested and stuff like that. But right now, inbound. So we're just talking inbound. Inbound calling, agent's initial message, right? Hey, you've reached Scalability's demo account. How can I help today? Mine, I like to tell people it's AI. AI is getting so good that in a couple months, you probably won't be able to tell it's AI at all. But if you still tell people it's AI, they won't feel like you're trying to get over on them, right? We're trying to build know, like, and trust factor in everything we do, trying to take care of people. So there's no reason to try to lie to people or mislead people. I like to just tell them up front.
Can
if
you
you
get
guys,
your, I'm sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
go ahead.
Can you get your voice in there?
Right now, we're just using these voices.
But it's possible.
Maybe. I'm not sure yet, actually. I haven't even tried. These are still so new. I've barely played with them like that.
What's, just out of curiosity, real quick, what's your thought towards having an AI voice for you and you calling people? Is that
I like to have, like I just said, I don't like to try and spoof
yeah,
people.
yeah,
And if you look at what people's reservations with AI is, they've
yeah.
interacted with it somewhere and it was like, hi, how can I help you today? And so if they know it's AI, they're immediately like their walls go up.
Yeah,
If it might be AI, their walls go up a little.
yeah.
If they're not sure, they kind of, in the back of our minds, we almost feel a little stupid. Like, I can't tell if this is real or not. And we
Or,
question ourselves, right?
or you
So
could
for
say,
me,
hey, this is Aaron, the Aaron's AI voice.
right? Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was about to say. That's what I have this do. So if you guys want to call this sometime, just call it later. But when you call this, she's going to say, hey, this is Katie with Scalability. I'm Aaron's AI assistant. He put me in place to make sure that everybody gets taken care of. How can I serve you today? Oh, and
That's cool.
she actually says, this is Aaron's AI assistant. But don't worry, I can take care of you better than most humans can. That was the message I had her say. So I wanted it to start off and say something that's kind of funny that gets people's guards down a little bit, lets them know it's AI. Because now when people interact and they know it's AI immediately, it's not me, it's an AI, and they know it, and then it kind of makes them smile, they're willing to give it a chance. Well, this is so good that every single person who's given it a chance is like, this is awesome. Her voice was smooth. She was witty. It's a cool interaction. So I like the initial message. Have something funny in it if you can. Have her identify, her or him, have it identify itself as AI just because it gets the know, like, and trust factor up. Now it's kind of something cool and funny, right? They'll give it a chance. So you type in here, this is just what the first thing she's going to say or he's going to say when somebody calls that number. So here I might say, hey, you've reached Scalability. Well, like I said with mine, this say, hey, this is Aaron's AI assistant, but don't worry, I can help you better than most humans can. How can I help you today? Just something, whatever, right? But have it identify itself, have it say something a little funny if you can. If not, don't worry about it. But let it identify itself. And this is just going to kick off the conversation. So if somebody calls that number, she's going to answer the phone and say this, and then she's going to go on into the next thing. So if I click next here, I like to switch to advanced mode. And when you switch to advanced mode, it's going to bring up the prompting that's already in here. So if you see here, there's this long prompt already written that trains this AI bot so that you can kind of plug it in and then call it and see how it works. And you've got an AI bot up and running like that. It lines it out. And if you guys aren't good or not familiar with prompting AI bots, opening this up and reading it will start to give you a good idea of how you prompt. So we say background information. You're telling the AI bot who it is, right? So you say you're an agent, or you're my agent 598. I say you're my AI assistant named Jennifer, a dedicated customer support specialist at Scalability, focusing on assisting my clients. You can say focusing on answering questions and assisting my clients in getting to the right thing and triggering workflows, right? Your goal right here, instructions for handling the caller's queries. It's kind of laid out where you guys can read through it and then you can add or expand on it and it gives you a starting point to get going. Okay. And this will do pretty good out of the box, just like it is. Script instructions for inbound. Assure the caller of a prompt callback from our team. Instructions in the call once you've catered. And then right underneath it, you can put the things that you want to happen afterwards. So trigger a workflow, send a text, update fields, call transfers, etc. Okay. I like to say trigger a workflow when completed. So I skip these right here and just say trigger a workflow when call is completed. And then I went to workflows and built a workflow. So then you can select that workflow right here. If you trigger a workflow here, it's kind of the same thing. It lets you name it, and then it lets you choose your workflow here. And then here, you can actually make this trigger. So I'll show you the difference here. This one is trigger a workflow when the call is completed. So no matter what happens on the call, after this call happens and it ends, that's going to trigger this workflow. That's what this means. If I go to trigger a workflow here, I can come in here and I can name it after call. I can select a workflow. And then here, what to say when the workflow is being triggered or when to trigger the workflow. So here, when to trigger, we could say when you've determined the caller is a homeowner that wants to sell their home. That's when you want it to trigger. So during the conversation, the AI might determine, okay, this is a homeowner, and automatically trigger it and still be talking to him on the phone. So like the first way I showed you is once the call is over, trigger the workflow no matter what happened. This one would be more of a, when you find out they're a homeowner, trigger this workflow, and it could be a homeowner workflow, right? And then I could come in, I could say, trigger a workflow and do a new workflow. And this one, I could say buyer. And here I could choose a buyer workflow where it adds them to my cash buyers list and sends them a text message and forwards their information to me. You know, you could create a workflow to do whatever you want. And here you could say when you determine the caller is a buyer looking for investment properties, then trigger this workflow. So see, now we'd have two workflows, right? Let's grab a different one. Okay, so yeah, when I save this, there we go. All right, it didn't save the other one because I didn't fully fill it out either. But you can have two of them where the AI will determine, is this a homeowner, and then trigger this workflow. Or if they're a buyer, trigger this workflow. So if you know you've got two different kinds of clients that might be calling this phone number from your website, you can use this one to trigger different workflows. This one is going to trigger one immediately when it's done. And then underneath that, down here at the bottom, receive an email notification post call completion. I like this. Anybody and everybody who calls and this line and demos this bot, I get an email when you're done, and I get to read the entire conversation. So every one of you guys that have called and screwed with the bot, I've got to read every conversation, and some of them are pretty funny. I appreciate you messing with it because it works. So here you can say send to all users or specific users, say Aaron Jennings, because it's my scalability account, right? So I can say, just send it to me. So if you have big teams, 3, 5, 10, 18 people in scalability, you can send this to whoever does the initial contacts, right? So here we hit next. And then here you get to choose what phone number you want to be assigned to this bot. So this phone number here, 877-414, this is assigned to just demo the bot. My assistant, Katie, only answers the phone when you call this number. When you call this number and you hang up, it will trigger the automation that will send you a text from my primary number in the company because I manually interact with people through that number. So we put her and attached her to one phone number, right? We grab this phone number for the demo account, right? You can have 15 different phone numbers, and you grab one for the AI assistant, put it on your website. So then here we can toggle on the, remember I said she can answer calls or you can forward it to yourself. Here we can say enable the agent as a backup to the phone number. So the AI agent will answer calls if the user or the call forwarding does not. Okay, so when we trigger this on, it's saying that she's going to be a backup and she's only going to answer it if I don't answer it. In other words, it's going to ring 3 times or so and then she'll answer it because I didn't. If I trigger that off, then she's going to answer it every time somebody calls that number, period. She's not going to wait for me to answer it. It's not forwarding to me. She's just going to go. Underneath that, you can set working hours. And you could, if you are trying to make it seem more like somebody's actually in your office Monday through Friday, or let's say you want this to answer every phone call, you don't want it forwarding to you outside of work, you could set working hours to where she only works after hours. Like you're open from 8 to 5 and you want to field the calls, you could say you want her to start at 5 p.m. and go till 8 a.m. the next morning. Well, you get what I'm saying. So we can make it to where she goes from 5, well, I guess this would be 5 p.m. to 11:59 or 55. That'd be the way they do it. And then you can add a second date and you can have the morning hours, right? From midnight to 8 a.m. or 12 a.m. You know what I mean? Like that. 12 a.m. to I open the doors at 8 a.m. So here now she's going to work from 5 p.m. till midnight and then from midnight to 8 a.m. But from 8 to 5 when I'm open, she's just going to basically be sleeping. So the phone will ring and I'll answer it and I'll handle the calls. But then after hours, she automatically jumps in and she answers and fields everything all night long. So you can set the hours if you want to do it granularly like that. And then you hit save. And that's it. You've got it. And now she's attached to that phone number and she's going to run the calls. So then you would go to your website, just like we did here, and you just go into the design editor and you add your phone number to the website. If you've got to contact us in the footer or in the headline or on something like that, then you just plug it in there. If it's, so Anne's case, if it's somebody who comes to a website looking to sell their house, it could be give us a call today, phone number. And that's her call to action. And then she could have the chatbot widget down here in the bottom. Somebody clicks on that and they could start a conversation. Either way, everything is being fielded by AI now. And I'm just getting the notifications and it's triggering the workflows. I think this is pretty cool. And we've had a lot of good feedback from everybody who's called and messed with. And I say messed with because people like to mess with AI, which I still, like I said, I think is funny. I was at church and we were talking to this one guy and he was like, that's awesome. And he starts asking questions. And I said, just give it a call and try for yourself. He's like, what? And so I gave him this phone number and he calls her. And as soon as she answers, she said, hey, this is Aaron's AI assistant, but don't worry, I can take care of you better than most humans can. How can I serve you? Somebody standing next to him jumps in and goes, I want to order a pizza. and she goes, ooh, pizza sounds good. But how about we talk about how I can help you with your business? She just roped him right back and brought him right back to the conversation. I was like,
Wow.
well played. So they do a really good job at learning your business. And I've been able to stand next to a few different businesses now when they call this bot. And when she asks questions and then role plays as your business, she's scraping the internet just for your industry. And from what I've seen so far, she hasn't been wrong on any of the answers that she's given a bunch of different businesses, because people look at me and they go, how does she know that? Because like, is she scraping my website right now? Because that's exactly what we offer. How does she know? I'm like, she's scraping the internet right now. She hasn't been trained on your side at all. So, but yeah, if you guys have scalability and you have these things working and you have people come into your website, and let's say I use real estate agents, we primarily focus on real estate agents because They have leads that call, Google search for agents, and then you give these agents a call. And if they're showing a house or have a W-2 job or with family, they can't answer the phone. And so for them, this is fantastic. An electrician, a contractor who is answering the phone, having to do the jobs, and then also going out and doing the work. This is great because they can be doing the work, running a machine, and they don't hear the phone ring. And your AI assistant can jump in and handle the phone call, answer questions, and then trigger follow-ups so that, they get back. This is not just a sales pitch. 50% of sales go to the first person who answers the phone. So the reason AI assistants and agents are such a big deal is because if somebody Google searches electrician, Dallas area, it brings up a list. If they call the first person and they don't answer the phone, they just call the next person in line. And then if they don't answer, they call the next person in line. So if somebody calls your number, if you can't answer it, anything helps, right? If they get a text message, if an AI assistant can answer the call, anything like that, it immediately makes that person stop and now work with you. They'll wait for a follow-up and things like that because they feel like they've been seen. So super important, start figuring out how you can plug this in. But at the beginning, I said, I'm going to give you the idea, then I'm going to show you the tools, and then I'm going to give you the idea. So if you have a website, right? You have a website in place already. The idea here is grab a scalability phone number, put the scalability phone number on your website as your contact number. Now, if you got a sales funnel, Larry, like yours, I wouldn't worry about it. We want them to book the audit, period. So don't mess with it. But for businesses that are running a normal website and they've got contact us information anywhere you've got to contact us. If you're offering people a phone call, you can put a scalability number on there, and then you can create your AI agent and then plug that in, and she'll answer all the phone calls for you and can trigger automations to now be that 24/7 assistant that just works. You don't have to hire VAs in the Philippines anymore. Your VA assistant can speak better English than they do.
That's cool. Thank
So
you. Thank you
they're
for
pretty
sharing
cool.
that. Oh, it's fascinating. Thanks for sharing that. That's really nice.
Yep.
Thank you.
Let me check does that spawn any questions or anything for you guys? I see Jill in the comments. You could put this on the landing page to help visitors clear on the offer. Exactly. Put them in there. Put one on there and see what happens. It is best for tradespeople and things like that. But if you spend a little time with it, Jill, and train it on your website like that, add Q&A. If you have people asking the same questions all the time, you can add the Q&A into the prompting and say, this is how you deal with questions. And then it will know this is how it deals with questions. And yeah, it can do just that. It can answer and field phone calls or messages on your website, and it could answer those for people. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Any other questions or anything? That's all I want to talk about. I know it kind of took a little bit to go through it all, but I thought these things are getting so cool and we're getting such a good feedback that where you guys are using scalability, I wanted you to know that this stuff was in there and you could start playing with it. Because you guys, if you've poked around scalability at all, there's a ton of things scalability can do. And I typically don't tell you about all of it because I want you guys focused on money making tasks and moving forward in your business, not playing with all the new toys. AI is like the next generation of where everything's going.
Yeah.
And I believe it's something that can save us so much time and energy. We don't have to hire big teams anymore. We can plug in an AI assistant and it can answer the calls. That's crazy. So I wanted you guys to know it was there so that if you guys are moving into the AI space at all or dabbling with it at all, you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of new software. Play with something that's in what you're already using so you continue to get better at scalability, which benefits your whole business.
Yeah.
Right? You're not trying to integrate different apps from all over the place. You can just keep learning scalability and get better and leverage these tools better for yourself. So
it's great. Thank you.
cool. You're welcome. I'll be looking for that booking, Larry.
All right.
Jump on Zoom and let's
get it done.
Get you taken care of. Get you moving fastest way to money.
Thank you. See you.
All right, guys. Well,
Bye.
thanks for jumping in, spending some time with me. Have a good weekend. We'll catch you guys next Friday. See ya.